Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into some of history's most mind-blowing accidental inventions. But look, this isn't just your standard history lesson. For those of you tuning in, especially our amazing Brazilian learners, we're putting in the work to level up your English. We've got a very specific mission today. We are going to completely master how to tell these kinds of epic, crazy stories in English. By the time we wrap up this Explainer, you're going to know exactly how to talk about a long, ongoing activity in the past that gets suddenly interrupted by a fast, unexpected event. Seriously, it's the ultimate secret to sounding like a natural storyteller. So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll check out accidental inventions. Second, forming the past continuous. Third, long and short actions. Fourth, story settings and exceptions. And finally, number 5, let's practice together.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, accidental inventions, or as I like to call them, happy accidents.
You know, some of the stuff we use every single day, complete accidents. Take the sticky notes you probably have sitting on your desk right now. Back in 1970, a scientist named Spencer Silver was actually trying to invent a super strong glue. But he totally failed. The glue he came up with was incredibly weak, and honestly, nobody wanted it. It felt like a completely useless mistake. But then 4 years later, his coworker Arthur Fry had this super annoying problem. His bookmarks kept falling out of his choir book. He remembered Silver's weak glue, swiped it on his bookmarks, and boom, the Post-it note was born. So you've got this ongoing failure that gets interrupted by a sudden, brilliant idea. And we see this exact same pattern with another famous accident. Way back in 1905, an 11-year-old kid named Frank Epperson was trying to whip up a new soft drink. He was mixing the sugary powder and water with a little wooden stick. But then, he just kind of forgot about it and left the soda outside overnight. Now, because it was absolutely freezing outside, the next morning he found his drink completely frozen solid with a stick still stuck right in the middle. He literally accidentally invented the popsicle. Once again, right? An everyday ongoing action, just mixing a drink, interrupted by a sudden freezing change in the weather. Moving right along to section 2, forming the past continuous. Let's look at how we actually build this tense. Okay, so to share incredible stories like the Post-it or the Popsicle, we need a very specific grammar tool. We need to be able to explain what was happening right before and during those accidents. That's exactly where the past continuous tense comes into play. And honestly, it is super simple when you break it down into 3 little pieces. First, you've got your subject, the person or thing doing the action. Second, your auxiliary verb. This is just the past tense of the verb to be, so either was or were. If your subject is I, he, she, or it, you use was. For you, we, and they, you go with were. Oh, and if it's a negative, just tack on not, making it wasn't or weren't. Finally, the third piece. Just add your main verb with an ing at the end. Walking, eating, you get the idea. So here is our formula in action. I was walking to the train station. Notice how the sentence flows. I is our subject, was is our auxiliary verb, and walking is our main verb with that nice continuous ing sound. When you say this out loud, you are describing an action that was actively in progress in the past. You aren't at the station yet, you are right in the middle of the journey. Which brings us perfectly to section 3, long and short actions and those sudden interruptions. Now, let's be real. A story where you just walk to the train station is kind of boring, right? A good story needs a twist. It needs an event. Picture a timeline in your head. At 2 p.m., you started walking to the station. At 3 p.m., you finally arrived. That entire hour is your long action. You were walking. But suddenly, right smack in the middle, at 2:15 p.m., something happens. The phone rings. That right there is a short, sudden action at a specific time that totally interrupts your long journey. To express this clash of events in English, we contrast 2 different tenses. First, we use our new best friend, the past continuous, for the long action. I was watching a really good movie. You can practically feel how that action is stretched out over time, right? But then we hit it with the simple past for the short action that interrupts it. But I fell asleep before the end. Boom, fast, sudden. Long action was watching. Short action, fell asleep. Now I want you to notice the specific word we use to glue these ideas together, the word while. We use while right before the long continuous action. While I was shopping one day, see how that sets up the expectation? You just know something crazy is about to happen. And then the simple past delivers the punchline. A celebrity walked into the store. But hey, we can actually flip this entirely. Instead of using while for the long action, we can use the word when to introduce the short action. Check this out. I was talking to my friend. When my cell phone died. Guys, it means the exact same thing. When links up with the simple past short action, and while links up with the past continuous long action. It just gives you so much cool flexibility in how you weave your stories together.
All right, on to section 4, story settings and exceptions. Just a couple of quick rules to remember. So there are a few important tricks to keep in mind. If you ever read books or news articles in English, you'll see the past continuous used constantly to paint a vivid picture. It sets the background scene before the real, gritty action starts. Kind of like this. Superman was walking in the park, a family was playing football, and dogs were barking. All of that is past continuous. It's just setting the mood. Then the real plot kicks in with the simple past. Suddenly, a man ran towards him. It builds the tension absolutely beautifully. But here is the crucial point for all our language learners out there, a really big exception to the rule. There are some verbs in English that flat out do not have a continuous ing form, period. We call these stative verbs because they describe a state of being, an emotion, or a thought, rather than a physical, moving action. We're talking about words like love, hate, know, like, and want. You just can't slap an ing on these when describing the past.
Listen to this super common mistake. The cake was nice. I was wanting another slice. I mean, it kind of sounds like it should work as an ongoing feeling, right? But grammatically, it is absolutely 100% wrong in English. Because want is a stative verb, you have to just stick to the simple past. The cake was nice. I wanted another slice. Just keep a close eye out for those feeling and thinking verbs.
And that brings us to section 5. Let's practice together. Yep, it is your turn. It's time to take everything we've just covered and lock it in with some real-life application. Here's a situation I think literally all of us can relate to. The long action. I was typing my report. The terrible, sudden, heartbreaking interruption introduced by when my computer crashed. See? It's the perfect formula. Long action, sudden interruption. Okay, now it's over to you. I want you to read this prompt on the screen and mentally fill in the blank. While I was going home one day, think of a short, sudden action in the simple past that interrupted you. Did you find a $20 bill on the sidewalk? Did it just suddenly start pouring rain? Notice how that word while perfectly sets up your ongoing background action. Let's try just one more. I was doing my homework when... How would you finish this one? Remember to use a short, fast action to wrap up the sequence. Maybe when the lights went out, or when my friend called. If you practice this structure, your English storytelling is going to sound incredibly natural, fluid, and totally native. And look, mastering this grammar means you can talk about massive world-changing historical accidents too. Take a look at the Terracotta Army in China. For thousands of years, this whole army was completely hidden underground. Nobody knew it was there. Until one day in 1974, a local farmer named Yang Jifa was just going about his normal business. He was digging a well for water. That was his long, continuous action. He was digging a well when his shovel hit something hard. A sudden, simple past action that interrupted his day and literally uncovered one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in human history. Which leaves me with one final question for you to chew on. We've talked about accidental inventions, unexpected phone calls, and unearthing ancient statues. Using the past continuous and the simple past, ask yourself right now, what were you doing before your biggest lucky break? Practice writing it out in the comments or just saying it out loud to yourself. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and exploring this with me today in this explainer, and keep telling those awesome stories. Catch you next time.